the Bootstrap. So first and foremost thing, we need to already integrate the Bootstrap, which is CDN way or any other way. Bootstrap has to be integrated, which we did it already. So if you see that CDN way, we have been done that, and that actually one scripted link and one CSS link. Two things has been given, and also we have been discussed about what is min.scss and what is min.js
Sir, I have got
minification.
a doubt here, sir.
Excuse me.
I have got a doubt here, sir.
Tell me, what is the doubt?
Sir, in the previous sessions, you have said that the script tag should be given at the end of the body, right, sir? Before closing the body, but it
Correct.
is here in the head.
Yes, that's, see, you can give this anywhere. Script tag can be given anywhere. The best practices will be mostly what end of the body, like before body is closing. If you give it here, that will be the good thing. Otherwise, you can give there also. Are you getting starting of the body? This is head is the first one. It is loading, right? So here also you can give. This is not a good practice, but for now we are not interacting with anything on the JavaScript. So if you are having multiple things on the JavaScript, then you would have get some problem over there. You will understand that you will only move that because the problems automatically comes. I want to, when you are extensively using the JavaScript, you will understand what is the problem with the JavaScript you are keeping there. Okay, that's a general thing anyway. So if you are giving in the last also, that's fine because the script is always depends on the HTML. By that time script is loaded, HTML should be loaded. That is the intention. All the HTML has to be loaded. After that, JavaScript has to load because JavaScript is uses the HTML. If you are keeping in the starting, by that time JavaScript is not loaded, so there will be a problem because that is not loaded, which will throw error. That's why you should have a different handling techniques to add in the JavaScript. Otherwise, we have to keep it out. We have to keep it last so that by that time the HTML will be loaded. That's the only intention. Okay. Any other question? As of now,
No,
in
sir.
these examples, these are nothing because they are all just, we are all in the initial stages, right? So it doesn't matter for us. As of. Let me run this example, what is having currently. So I'm running the index.html as of now. And we are seeing this is what it is currently. And also we have been understand how the columns and rows can be able to use it, correct? So we have columns and rows has been given in the grade. And in the columns, whatever you can give, that will be a column. I've been shown you in the previous session, right? So we have a column here. That means one particular screen will be divided into 12 columns. And among them, how many columns you wanted to occupy with one particular your column, you can able to mention. Okay, now let us understand the validations part of it because I've been already told you how we can customize them and how we can able to change the existing forms or change the existing things and all. So let me show you some of them here. One of the thing, most important thing is the validation, right? The validation, the normal way, the JavaScript way of validation, you guys are already know about it. We were already given some examples, which is name validation and some number validation. Very simple examples. I already told you, right? Now, in this particular session, the same kind of examples only, but using Bootstrap, how we can do it. Okay, let me just pull up some of the validation thing. I already told you some of several validation styles has been given here. If you see there, this is how the validations. And otherwise, if you just go and check there, that's a different kind of validations, required validations, and several techniques like different kinds of validations are already given. So what kind of validations are suitable for you for the current particular, because they will give you the wireframe. Wireframe will have a each and every minute point has been mentioned, like my text box, how it looks like, and my validation, how it looks like. Everything has been mentioned, the wireframe, because designers will provide you the design, how it has to be. Based on that, what is the design is suitable for you, you need to bring that down. End of the day, for example, I wanted to be like this. I want the validations are like that. Fine, you can copy that. But what you need to be very understandable here, the way how they built it. If you just observe here, and understand how they actually built this validation and how it is actually, working with this green. That means the success validation and failure validation. The success and failure validation, how it is working. That's the most important thing you need to understand. So for that, what you need to understand, just read this particular, form with the tags and things like that. Okay, each and everything you need to understand one thing, guys. It will be inside a form, because form will have a submit validation, and form will automate having some, interactions and things like that. Whenever you write anything, any control tag, something like input tag or anything, if you put under form, that will have a some extra capability will be automatically added by the browser. Okay, those things and all will be automatically added by the browser. Those things and all later we'll check out. For now, just observe here. Yeah, in this particular example, like given the validations, how it will be added for a text boxes, for a list boxes, and things like that. They given you examples here. Whenever any validation happened, and if it is success validation, how it looks for a text box, for a failure validation, how it looks like for a text box, and for a list box. This is a list, right? List items will be there, but still the validation will apply to the list also. So the validation can be applied anywhere and everywhere based on our requirement. Whenever required, you add it. Otherwise, not required to add it. Okay, let me just go with a simple for now. And this is a simplest validation. If you see there, it's a kind of a message is coming there, but the border and this particular icon is same thing. You just come and see here. You see that this is a valid feedback. What is this? This is a valid feedback, guys. Looks good is there. This is valid feedback. And also you can check that this is valid feedback and this is invalid feedback. Did you see that? This is the most important thing what we need to observe. First thing, you need to understand that there is an invalid feedback class mentioned here. What is the class here? Invalid feedback. This is one div which is having a invalid feedback. Another div, if you see there, that's a valid feedback. These two things are the most important. And also you observe here is valid class for the particular input box. This is the input box, guys. For the input box, what is there? There is a is valid class added over there. Are you guys able to see that? Guys, are you able to see this? This is the class form control is there, and also one more class is valid. Both the classes are there,
Yes,
and
sir.
also if you see there is invalid. That means what? This is the most important thing what we need to understand. Let me just copy this and go to our code. Let me just I don't want cards or things like that for now. Let me delete everything. Okay. I have only the container, and inside container I'm keeping this and saving it. Now I just go to the browser and run that. Now you see that what is happening there? You have a Bootstrap with the success and failure validation. You're getting it or not? But in general, this is wrong, correct or not? Because user did not enter anything. By default, the validation is wrong. This is wrong, correct or not? So what you have to do for the first and foremost thing, what you need to do, I already told you, right? You go to each and every control and understand that there is valid feedback and invalid feedback. Guys, we're getting it or not? This is one control, guys. This is one control. This particular thing is one control. For each and every control, there is a label and there is an input box and there is a div. You understand? Let's just understand that, and remaining things for now, I'll just delete. Guys, are you following it or not? This is the most important thing which I'm telling you. If you're not following it, no one can help you. I'm telling you. If you have any clarifications needed, anything you needed, let me know. I will be able to tell you. But without doing anything, just simply sitting is not going to work. Now let us observe. I have only inside the form, guys. I have only one control and one button. Are you getting? So in this particular button, what to understand is the most important thing. Here, if you observe, is valid class is available, and is valid having one div. One in the class is valid class is there, and one div valid feedback is there. Let me just save it and run this and observe here. You got is valid, looks good, all this. Now I wanted to add one more div, which is what? Invalid feedback. What is that? Invalid feedback also. I need to add invalid feedback and change the message according to your message. Looks bad, something like that for now. And I run it. What is going to happen? You got only looks good. You are not getting any looks bad. When it will be coming? Whenever you make this as is invalid. You understand? Now you will get that looks bad and red invalid. So that means what? Each control you should have a two different messages, which is one is for the valid feedback, and you put your message, what is the message you wanted to display to the user. Another one is invalid feedback, and put your message, what is the message you wanted to put it there. And this control is having one more class. This will going to show you those things. Whenever it is invalid, invalid feedback will show. Whenever it is valid, valid feedback will show, even though you mentioned both the things over there. You understand? That is what you have to understand by seeing the example. Now you understand how it works, right? So if the moment it is valid, I can able to see looks good and green color. Are you getting, guys? And whenever my class is invalid, what is happening?
Spelling, sir. Invalid spelling.
What is happening? The moment it is invalid, you have the invalid feedback along with the border, red color, everything. This is what you can able to do it. Now, for now, actually, you don't want anything. For example, for loading purpose, you don't want to load with the validations, right? At the time of loading, you no need to load with the validation, right? That's why the particular input should not have any class. It should not have is valid. It should not have is invalid. But you observe here, these two is still there. It automatically fixed by the Bootstrap whenever you add the class to the input element. The moment I add is valid, automatically valid feedback will taken up. If it is a invalid, automatically invalid feedback will take it up, and like that. And by default, you don't know, no need any valid, because by default you don't know at the time of loading whether this control is valid or invalid. You don't know, correct or not? That's why you should remove that. And that particular class has to be added at the time of clicking the button. That means what? You need to take into the JavaScript. And in the JavaScript, you should add the class to the element dynamically. Are you getting, guys? Whenever you dynamically add the particular class, whether the class is valid, automatically the green button and green border and everything will be appeared. And also the valid feedback will appear. That's what all you need to do. Are you getting, guys? Any questions as of now? Let us do that for now. As of now, any questions? If you just have, that's what, first you need to remove all the valid or invalid things from the classes in the inputs actually, and keep both the feedbacks in for each every control. For example, I have a first name control as of now. You have to copy and paste and change whatever the control you wanted to do. But each and every control will have a label, input and feedbacks. A feedback has to be both feedbacks. In the example, it's only given one feedback. What is given in the one given in the example, when documentation while you are reading, it is going to give you one feedback, which is a valid feedback for one control, invalid feedback for another control, but it's not given both, because the example is given. By reading, you should understand is valid is given here, is invalid is over there, all these things. By reading, you have to understand and make sure you should understand properly. What is that, man, Charan? And you have to
Sir,
do it actually.
many days we have used display none, right, sir?
What display none?
For the classes, sir.
For
We
the
are using it,
classes,
right, sir? At the time of reload, we don't want the CSS, right, sir? We can make it as display none, and in the
display none
JavaScript
in
we
the
can
sense
display
entire
it.
element won't display. Okay, entire element won't display. Display none means remove the element from the browser. Display none means remove the
Okay.
element from the browser. It is not like color is not one. It is only for colors, right? We are not removing the element from the browser. Where you will apply the display none? Display none is for removing these things. For example, I don't want this entire message. Then I will remove. That you don't need to do because Bootstrap is doing for you. That you no need to do because that is doing by Bootstrap. Only thing is the moment you are adding the class, Bootstrap is doing which one is to be show, which one is to be hide. That thing is done by the Bootstrap. You understand what I'm saying? So display none and display hide you are doing for the messages previously, this message. And this message you don't need to do anything now because Bootstrap is taken care. All you need to do is you have to add a class over there. If it is an invalid class has to be added. If it's a valid class has to be added to the element. That's all you need to do. Are you getting, guys? I already shown you now. Manually, you should understand that is. So the moment I add is valid, automatically what is happening? See, automatically looks good. Everything is added. So all you need to do is what? Is valid or is invalid? Any one thing you have to add it there based on your requirement. That's all. Okay, let us do that. Any questions as of now?
No, sir.
And by onload value is equal to mark is there. Did you observe there? That means what? Onload mark is showing there inside. Value means entered value. I already documented get element by dot value we were reading. You remember? Value means that value which we entered inside the text box. So what they did, what they hard coded with a mark. So you know need value also should be hard coded because user has to provide that. User has to provide it. Are you getting? So, and also you observe here the required is there. Required means automatically some message will be appeared because the browser is having the capability. The moment you click it, you see that please fill out this field. The required field will automatically have this validation. That is what is called required validation. Required means you have to enter the value without should not leave anything blank there. Something like that. Anyway, so now you observe that the value also not there. So what and all things you did, you just observe any extra things like value is there, any extra things like the classes are already added by default. Everything should remove it first, and dynamically you go and add it whatever whenever is required. That's what is the customization. Now see, I have removed the value also. Now the ID is there. Change the ID accordingly. The ID is, if you see there, na, the ID is labeled and this ID is actually interlinked. That means it will sync in between. So what you need to do, both the IDs you need to change. For now, I just change like first name, something like that. Because meaningful IDs has to be there. That also needs to be changed. So all these things are the most important thing. And this is the little bit difficult part I am showing you. Other Bootstrap elements and all very, very simple. If you understand this validation part, customization properly, all other elements are very simple. You can easily do that. That's why I taken this. You understand what I'm saying? Among all the components which is available in the Bootstrap, these validations are little critical. If you understand this validations, customization properly, all other widgets are straightforward. Easily we can do it. You understand what I'm saying? That's why you observe that what to change, what not to change, which you should not change anything apart from the class and something like that, which class you need to change. All these things you observe and understand it and do it. That's what are you getting, guys? So now what I did, I changed the ID also. ID for the input, right? Why? Because in the JavaScript, I need to get this element and read the value and check valid or not. Because I always check my rules there in the JavaScript only. Because my name will have some rules. I need to apply the rules and make sure that rules are followed. If that rules are not there, then I made it invalid. If rules are there, then I made it valid. That's what is my intention. Okay. So what for that, what I'm doing there? I will create one function. Let me just write a function here. Let me just create one script. For now, I'll put it here only, okay? Function validate F name, something like that. Just I created a function, okay, and function can be created in any manner, arrow function, so many things I already told you. Anything can be done here, okay. You need to create it separately and make sure everybody is familiar with the functions. As of now, this is the traditional way of creating function, and this is the valid f name, validate f name. Now, what I have to do first and foremost thing, where first name element is equal to document dot get element by id. What is id? First, you understand what I'm saying? The element first I need to bring it over there. The element is this one. First name is the id for it. Now I need to get the value from there. Fn is equal to first name element dot value. Now I got the element value from the element. These are things we already done. Okay, I'm just repeating the same thing. Now, if Fn dot length length is greater than 2, my rule is if more than 2 characters there, then only first name is valid. Otherwise, invalid. That's what is my rule. I'm trying to put that rule. So the length of the particular Fn is greater than 2, then what I am doing? I just add the class which is valid class. Is valid class. I should add it to the element. I have to add the class to the element only. I have the element already. The same element. This is the input element, correct? First name is the input element. So the same element I have to add. That's all. The class. Let me just do it now. First name element dot uh, class list. First, what I have to do, we have to, you will have a multiple classes in the elements, right? Let me just print that element, guys, okay? Class list is equal to class list dot push, okay? Is valid. Class list is a classes, guys, because I already told you, correct? So one particular element will have multiple classes. This is one class, form control, space, another class, space, another class. Multiple classes will be there in one element. That is what is called class list. You need to bring all the classes. You cannot only take one. If only one class is there, one class will come. If multiple classes are there, all the classes it will get there. That is why we have a class list. So what I wanted to put it there, that property I wanted to put it there in the console, console.log. First name element dot class list. And then I'm just checking here. That's just for sake of seeing what is the classes and all there, the element. Now, I'm checking the function value, which is Fn. Dot length is greater than 2. If it is greater than 2, the class list, whatever is there, I'm pushing is valid class. Because it's valid. Are you getting, guys? Let me just run this. Are you following, guys? Any questions as of now? Guys, any questions as of now?
No, sir.
Okay. So let me just submit now. Nothing is happening. I just type one character, submit. Nothing was happening. You see that it was closing. That means it is clearing. Now, if I'm clicking it, see, it is clearing. Did you see that? Because we are under submit. Okay, if you are under submit, when you click it, it will try to submit and refresh the page. That is the problem. So what you need to do to avoid such things, what you have to do, you should not have the submit button. I will just remove the type submit over there from the button. Are you getting, guys? So these are the customer, always you copy paste it. You got a submit button over there. There is a different thing which you need to understand submit button, how it works. As of now, we just dealing with a normal button. So the type submit, you don't want to use for now. I will tell you later what are the submit buttons and when we use it and how many ways we can use the submit button, all these things. Okay. So I just remove the submit. Now the button, a normal ordinary button with us currently. Now you just run it and you submit and you type something and submit. It was still.
Sir, function bind చేయండి సార్ దాంతో ఫస్ట్ ఆన్ క్లిక్
On click
అయ్యి
చేస్తా
ఇక్కడ
కానీ
సార్
రిఫ్రెష్ అవుతారు. Okay, let me put action is equal to hash. Because we are under submit, that's why first we need to stop the submit. Okay, now you see, you understand. So now what is happening? The moment you put the hash, okay, it was not submitting and it stayed there. Whatever is there, now it stays. Okay, so that's how we can prevent the submission. As of now, you put hash means it will stop submitting to the server, so it was not going to reload anything. Now we can add the click function. Okay, on click is equal to, what is the function name? Valid f. Okay, so on click valid f name, that is the function I need to call it, so that that function will validate and it will add valid functionality. The moment I click, see what is happening. Still it is actually showing required validation. Let me just put one character, because invalid I did not add it, only valid I added, so it is still not adding anything. Now I just add something, still it is not added in, right? Let me just see the code, what's happening. Okay, so now you see the console, you got so many errors. The class list dot push is not a function. That's the okay. Let's observe that particular error. Guys, are following it or not? Okay, so what we need to understand here, you just observe there. You have a first name element dot class list dot push is not a function. Okay, the error is clearly telling that the class list dot push is not a function. That means what? You cannot have the function like that, because that function is not available like that. It is telling. Let me just go to the source code of it. Where is the source code, guys? What is happening? Browser is not so. I don't know the browser not showing scope. Same thing. Different kind of error. Browser. Let me open in the Edge. Yeah. Thank you very much. Thank you for watching the video. If you like this session, please comment and share this video. If you don't want to miss my upcoming videos, please subscribe to the channel.